Oh my goodness. There was a big old showdown in NYC. It turns out that Zohran Mamdani was declared the winner of the New York City election. Now, the thing is, I'm not surprised by this. And before anyone starts typing, I know I got a diverse audience. Everyone's saying, oh, Zohran's going to turn New York City into New Mecca, or it's the end of New York, or perhaps New York will become a socialist paradise. Everybody calm down. He's going to get a phone call from the Democratic establishment, and he will soon be following orders. Now, again, New York City's future, I don't envy the person to sit upon the throne. But to be clear on this, no matter how you feel about the election, Zohran Mamdani winning is a historic night. And it does set a precedent to how maybe the Democrat Party will move. But I think it's not going to be the big change that a lot of people hyped up way back in 2018, where the Justice Democrats, brand new Congress, our revolution, and DSA were going to change the party from within. No, it's just the swapping of the new guard with the old guard. Nothing really will fundamentally change that much. And by the way, now comes the treasure trove of problems. See, Zohran Mamdani made a lot of promises. Will he keep them? I don't think so. No, I don't think he will. But on the other hand, too, for those who are upset with the election and how it turned out, I mean, look at the other contenders and then look who they put up as their dog, their heavyweight champion, their fighter, former disgraced governor Andrew Cuomo. I mean, that was the guy you picked, or that was the people hoping on. Okay, I mean, there was even a Republican candidate there, and even Trump didn't support him, but yet somehow, air quote, independent Andrew Cuomo was the guy running as an independent candidate, even though he lost in the Democrat primary. Independent. And the reason why I'm saying air quote independent, because listen, here's something that the state of Illinois and the state of New York, the city of New York City, and the city of Chicago have in common. They are notoriously, heavily draconian towards third parties and independents. It is difficult for third parties to be on the ballot and to be on the debate stage. Yes, it is a repeat, but I will keep on drilling it for as long as I can, because somehow Cuomo was able to jump on over that. Hey, like how I did that with the sound effect. Woo, that's Cuomo jumping all over it because he had the connections. Now, I'm pretty sure good friends of the show, Jose Vega and Larry Sharp, both in NYC, both running for different offices for the various elections. You got Jose Vega running for a congressional seat, and you got Larry Sharp running as a libertarian for New York governor. Again, independent third parties. Hey, through and through. But I'm pretty sure they would like the same opportunity to, be on the ballot, be on a debate stage. You know, too bad their last names aren't Cuomo, because that's how Cuomo was able to supersede all the trials and tribulations, roadblocks that prevent third parties and independents from really making an impact. So you pick Cuomo, a man riddled with scandal, a man whose whole history as governor in 2020, people were hyping him up as potentially the guy to replace Biden because there were a lot of Cuomo sexuals out there, even though Cuomo scandals kept on piling up and up and up and up and up and up and up. Most notably, look, folks, I would be wrong if I did not play this clip. Shout out to Hotspot. Again, we're going to be talking a little bit more about Zohran Mamdani winning and why, in the end, it will probably mean nothing because he's going to get that phone call. They all get the phone call. Every single one of them gets that phone call from the Democratic establishment. Just because the old guard's dying doesn't mean that the rules aren't going to disappear. But before we even talk about this, let's look at the downfall of Cuomo. Just grab yourself some popcorn here, folks, because, hey, Cuomo, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who are upset at you as you said this on Fox News. What madness possessed you from saying and thinking this and actually even following through with this?
First, nobody knew what we were dealing with. I had the best health experts from around the globe giving us advice. We followed the best advice. We followed the federal guidance. And people died in a horrific way. There were no
people died. To quote a line from an anime, people die when they are killed. Well, yeah, people did die, Cuomo. I mean, you were following guidelines. No one knew what they were doing. Well, gee, that sums up 2020. And just for a little bit of a nightmare feel. Oh, by the way, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the ring bell notification, comment because it does count for a view. But just a quick reminder: just because the year 2020 is over, does not mean 2020 is over. We're in the decade of 2020, so the nightmare still continues on. And I'm pretty sure all the relatives, you know, the family members who lost their senior citizen relatives in these old folks' homes have a lot of questions to ask Cuomo. Say that again, Cuomo.
Giving us advice. We followed the best advice. We followed the federal guidance. And people died in a horrific way. There were no visitors allowed into nursing homes. And I apologize for any family that lost a loved one during that time. It was on my watch. And I understand.
Huh. Too bad, there's no enforcement of any kind of laws or anything because they died on your watch. So, in other words, okay, you're apologizing, you're admitting it. Okay, fine. It's a little 5 years late, but okay.
How terrible it was.
Yeah, we really were first and worst. I remember calling my family down in South Carolina saying, Mom and Dad, do not go to that party. You don't understand what's happening here. Y'all need to stay away from your friends right now and stay at home. People are losing their loved ones. My doormen, many of them lost their...
Yes, it is a quote, my main man, my brother from another mother, Hassan. That's true. The decade of 2020 continues, and the nightmare isn't over. I am so sorry. I am so sorry, everyone. Forgive me.
Their dad, their mom. It was really sad. Janice Dean lost both of her in-laws because of the nursing home situation. It was a really hard time for New York, and we were the first. What do you say to the people who can't afford to pay their bills here in New York, Governor? Because we know how Mamdani feels about the billionaires, about our police officers, about the Jewish community. Many of them are voting for you because of what he said about Israel. But what do you say when people are going to go vote for him today because free grocery stores, free buses, rent stabilized, corporate taxes?
Now, will Mamdani follow through on those promises? I'm gonna press X to doubt. If he does, hey, I'll apologize. I'll be like, okay, wow, let's see how the program works. Let's see how things work. But before we talk more about Mamdani, remember, we're having fun here because Cuomo lost big. And listen, for all the people that were putting their eggs in one basket for Cuomo, did you guys really? You can't be this stupid. I'm sorry. Okay, and I'm not talking down to you, but for those who are going all in for Cuomo, did you forget his time as governor in 2020? Like, honestly, it's okay. Sometimes I forget things too. I'm human. I screw up. Sometimes I forget. It's like, I forgot. Yeah. But how can you forget that time of him being governor and all the scandals surrounding him? I'm not just talking about the women making the accusations against him. I'm talking about everything. Did you honestly really forget? And did you honestly think that's my guy, my ace in the hole, Cuomo? I mean, what? What? It's okay, New York City. I know we got the better style pizza here in Chicago, but hey, grab yourself a New York slice. It's on me, spiritually, that is. Spiritually and emotionally, not financially. You have to buy your own slice of pizza. For those who voted for Cuomo, listen. I don't know what you were thinking. Because here we go. Quote unquote, independent NYC mayoral candidate Andrew Cuomo. The president does not support me. The president opposes Zohran Mamdani. President Trump did officially endorse Andrew Cuomo in NYC mayoral election yesterday. Hold on.
The president.
Go ahead, Cuomo. Say again.
The president does not support me. The president opposes Zohran Mamdani. The president believes Zohran Mamdani is a communist. He believes he's an existential threat. I believe he's a socialist and an existential threat, and not a dress-up socialist, right? Their school of socialism, this Democratic Socialists of America, government controls the means of production. No private ownership of real estate, abolish jails, decriminalize prostitution. This is frightening stuff. The president.
Yes. Okay. So let's talk about what did President Trump do? Donald Trump. All right, fine. Everyone's using the word communist and fascist so much. No, the words are going to lose meaning. The word communist or fascist, like what they actually mean, will be turned into slurs now. Okay, if communist candidate Zohran Mamdani wins the election for mayor of New York City, it is highly unlikely that I'll be contributing federal funds other than the very minimum as required to my beloved first home, because of the fact that as a communist, this once great city has zero chance of success or even survival! Exclamation point. Look, all right. Look, I'm gonna say this here, okay? And I said this to the latte drinking liberals who are afraid Trump's gonna win. We gotta run away. We gotta move to Canada. Don't leave. Don't run. Don't run. All right. Make the country better. All right. Donald Trump is will be just a one marker in history. Now, yes, his name will survive on in the history books and because of the internet, but don't run away. And for those who are afraid or wanting to move out of NYC, if you love your city, help fight for it. Build it up, okay? I love Chicago. I've had people tell me, Kit, and I had this told to me by libertarians, conservatives, and yes, even other people across who are on the left. Like, hey, Kit, man, aren't you worried about Chicago? Aren't you afraid for Chicago? You know, maybe you should move out of Chicago. Please be safe, man. Look out. And look, hey, Chicago's not perfect, but I like to believe in this city, okay? This city is not perfect. No, it's not. It's got its problems. But I'm not giving up on it yet, okay? Not yet, that is, okay? Fight for it. Fight for it. It can only get worse with a communist at the helm, and I want to send, as president, good money after bad. It is my obligation to run the nation, and it is my strong conviction that New York City will be a complete and total economic and social disaster should Mamdani win. His principles have been tested over 1,000 years. Over 1,000 years. Communism is kind of, don't want to be controversial here. It's somewhat recent. It's not 1,000 years old, but okay. And never once has it been successful. I'd rather see a Democrat who has had a record of success win than a communist with no experience and a record of complete and total failure. He is nothing. He was nothing as an assemblyman, ranked at the bottom of the class, and as mayor of potentially, again, the greatest city in the world, he has no chance to bring it back to its former glory. We must also remember a vote for Curtis Silva, who looks much better without the beret, is a vote for Mamdani. Jeez, man, way to throw your fellow Republican down the bridge, right? Whether you personally like Andrew Cuomo or not, you really have no choice. You must vote for him and hope he does a fantastic job. He is capable of it. Mamdani is not. You know what I got to say to that, right? Trump, listen. Trump, man, come on. When the campaign of Cuomo does stuff like this.
Out of here, psychopath. Get out of here. Don't call me a whore in my face. Psychopath. Get out of here. Stop. Get out of here, psychopath.
Okay,
get out of
you
here.
can stop yelling at me.
You can stop yelling at me.
You can stop yelling.
You were yelling at us.
In my
Go to
face.
the fucking subway. You yelled at us. Go to the
You can
fucking
stop
subway.
yelling in my
You
face.
yelled at us. Go to the fucking subway. Go to the fucking subway. Get out of here.
The following people need to go to the subway. Bad Cookies, I'm looking at you. Prim54, go to the subway. Gray Walker, I love you, man. Go to the subway. Volunteera, go to the subway. BW, go to the subway. This was because of the climate defiance activists. They were, constantly trolling the Cuomo campaign. And this one person just had it up to here.
You were yelling at us.
In my
Go to
face.
the fucking subway. You yelled at us. Go to the
You can
fucking
stop yelling
subway.
in my
You
face.
yelled at us. Go to the fucking subway. Go to the fucking subway. Get out of here.
Bye. So I start walking.
Tiberius Monk, good to see you. And yes, you are going to the subway. All right. Go to the subway. Get out of here. But what does this mean? There's been a couple of follow-ups here. And I found this perspective to be very interesting. Only 1 minute, 26 seconds from our good friends at CNN, as Mamdani pretty much clinched the victory.
I wouldn't overread it. Virginia, in particular, has never been a great bellwether. I don't think a lot of folks had a lot of confidence in the Virginia campaign that was run on the Republican side. And New Jersey is New Jersey. So I would hesitate to overread it. I don't think the concerns you raised are illegitimate political strategy concerns. I think just want to offer condolences to Chuck Schumer. Honestly, what I'm reading here in New York City is that AOC is going to be the next senator from New York.
We will see. Don't worry. I'm going to talk about AOC very soon.
After she gets done whooping his rear end in the 2028 Democratic primary, and for his Senate races in 2026, I see the energy in the Democratic Party tonight behind a socialist, and I see the energy in Virginia. Democrats looking the other way on a violent candidate for attorney general who says he wants to murder Republicans and their children. If you think you're getting rid of Graham Plattner in Maine now, think again. This is a terrible night for national Democratic image, given what is happening inside their party. Mamdani is an avowed socialist. It's not what people say that he is. It's what he says that he is. He's now the leader of their party. That's their energy. And Chuck.
And I find it highly debatable that he is going to be the leader of the Democrat Party. Again, people could say like he is, or he could be. I think his victory in the primary and the city election does set a very interesting precedent of how to put a new coat of paint inside a house that's riddled with mold and cracks in the wall. That's the Democrat Party. Just to make things look shiny and nice before the inspector comes by. All right. The Democrat Party is not going to change. It's going to remain the same thing. They're going to tune up their message to get more suckers, voters, to empty out their pockets and deliver to them. You really think Mamdani's going to change anything? I mean, look at AOC, and I will be talking about AOC in a little bit because she was roasting MTG, and that's going to be its own segment altogether. But I'm actually going to be defending MTG. So that's why you got to be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe and hit the ring bell notification because YouTube's acting weird.
Schumer's
He's the leader of the Democratic Party?
Let's swear. What? There is no. Who is the leader? Can someone tell me?
He's a life raft for Republicans who have to go.
He did bring up a good question. Who is the leader of the Democrat Party? There isn't one. Democrat Party has no leadership. So for those of you who think that the Democrat Party is going to be Stalin on steroids, no. This is the Democrats. Don't worry. They'll find a way to crap their pants and crap the bed at the same time.
He's a life raft for Republicans who have to go on TV and get their asses kicked.
No. You own this. You own this now. You all own this now.
We've had progressive mayors that I don't think anybody thought that de Blasio was.
He's the best actor you all have, is he not?
Listen,
Mamdani.
Here's what I'll say.
Yes, everyone's so worried about Mamdani. But I'm not done yet with the meltdowns. For example, this happened on MSNBC, soon to be Miss Now.
Jonathan, if he did what you say, what you suggest, would that take away your concerns about his candidacy? Would that be enough?
Well, look, I want to hear the plans from all the candidates, not just Mamdani. But considering his, past, he was a student organizer for a group called Students for Justice in Palestine. They're the ones who led the systematic marginalization and targeting of Jews on college campuses over the last year and a half.
Okay, look, people were protesting the war that was happening in Gaza, the genocide that was happening in Gaza, still is ongoing. How's that ceasefire working? I think it's kind of imperative that, people at least say, hey, stop with the harm, stop with the destruction, but okay, whatever. I guess we can't say that anymore.
And so when Mr. Mamdani shows up and says again, I think this is a very important point, Caddy. He doesn't get to pick and choose which Jewish people he talks to. He needs to come to us. He needs to meet us where we are. If he could do that, he would allay a lot of concern. But look, this guy, he wants free buses. He wants government-controlled grocery stores. He's got a lot of big plans, Caddy. I don't know why, considering his big plans, he's going to need a lot of political capital. He's going to need a lot of allies. I don't know why, again.
Eric Powey writes a very interesting comment. The people's leader is different than being a Democrat Party leader. If Mamdani is smart, he will use the Democrat Party like how up-and-coming recording artists use record labels. Eric, in theory, you're correct. But you have to remember, he got endorsements from Democratic establishment leaders too. Unwillingly, of course. I like to think yet, but after 8 years of doing this, listen, I've come to the point I do care about politics. I don't care about it as much as I did because you'll go crazy. You will go crazy. You will go crazy. Like crazy, not crazy, haha. All right, rather be crazy, haha, than crazy, And let me tell you, I don't see that scenario happening. If it does, I will be shocked. But okay, very interesting perspective. If he's smart. Remember, you said if, and I have to agree with you too. If he's smart, but he won't do that. He won't. But good point. Good point. Good point. There you go. Good point.
And again and again, he simply won't take this head on, like the Rev said. Kristen Welker did an amazing job yesterday, and he had a chance just to literally put this to rest, Caddy. And like I said at the top, sometimes the things we don't say are actually the loudest. That's what people hear. So that's what the Jewish community right now is struggling with. Reform people and observant people, liberal people and conservative people, at a time when anti-Semitism has surged to record levels. The idea of a candidate.
Eric Powell, yeah, I'm not saying he will use this strategy. History says he will not. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. I care, but I'm not in bed with it, okay? It's just like, oh my God. Like, seriously, you got to have a good, healthy distance away from it. Because if you let it control your mind 24/7, it will kill you in the end. Look at how people had meltdowns when Trump won, not only in 2016, but in 2020. And look at how people kind of have these panic meltdowns that Mamdani won in the New York City election. Nothing will change. Nothing truly will fundamentally change. There you go. Just throwing it out there. And greetings from Britannia, your true Roman name, from Jacqueline Jack H. Hello, everyone, all my fellow jive turkeys.
Who won't clearly and unambiguously say, here is my plan, I am with you, leaves a lot of us deeply, deeply troubled.
Okay, well, if he's been watching Morning Joe for the last 3 minutes, he will have heard that message loud and clear. Let's see if he reaches out. CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt, thank you very much for joining us.
And speaking of CEOs, hey, CEO of Palantir, what does he have to say?
You always have to ask, is the person persuasive or are they right? And across all sorts of movements, political, I mean, you see this on the regressive part of the Democratic Party. We're about to probably have a complete disaster. I was born in New York. But if you actually said, do these things actually work? Everyone's like, of course I'm not going to vote for that. But instead they ask, does it work in theory? The theoreticians, you have to ask, how often have you been right? And you always have to ask to.
So yes, there's the fear that New York City will fall under. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think this is the great Soviet revolution that we've seen. This is Zohran Mamdani we're talking about. Yes, he ran a good campaign. He ran a good game. And if you look at who his opponents were, I mean, these were clearly the worst of the worst. I mean, Cuomo should consider himself fortunate enough that he had the votes that he did and that people were either foolish enough or suffered from dementia to even consider supporting him after forgetting his tenure as governor, as well as his previous other political history. I mean, what were you thinking standing in solidarity with Cuomo? What was anyone thinking? I think it was a good, I mean, if you're going to fight for your policies and trying to build up a major metropolitan city and lead it to a bright new future, you need to have people who, number one, care what they're doing, love what they're doing, know what they're doing, have a good campaign, have a good message, and not be surrounded with so many skeletons, not only in their closet, but in their living room, in the basement, in the attic, in the garage, in the car, in the trunk, everywhere. It was a dumb move. So, of course, some people will be latching onto it, and they'll be using it for their own political advantage, like everyone's favorite, AOC.
So many people who participated and were brought together by his campaign, because they were not just tasked with defeating a Republican. They were also tasked with defeating the old guard of the Democratic Party that essentially led us to many of the perils of this moment. So he had a two-front war to win, which is what makes his victory so deeply impressive. And I do think that this moment, a lot of people who are willing to talk about party unity when it serves them, but not party unity when it serves everybody, it puts those folks on notice. And I think it also puts folks on...
Let's see. How often have you been right, says Camp Cat. All these pontificators on mainstream media predictions fail all the time. Wars, elections, financial advice. They're worse than the weatherman. Well, yeah, the only reliable news at this point is the weather. Maybe. Maybe. Just saying. And how often have you been right? Well, there have been times I've been wrong. There have been times I've been wrong. The times I've been right, you're not going to see me gloating. Hey, look, other people might be like, yeah, I was right. Like, no, when I make a prediction, or at least try and ascertain what's happening on the ground, it's more of like, hey, heads up, this could be an uh-oh moment. And these uh-oh moments are not great, like this government shutdown that we're in. Like Mamdani, now that he's mayor of a major metropolitan city, guess what? Not only New York City, but Chicago, big cities, small towns, red and blue states are still suffering because of this stupid, pointless government shutdown. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. And the number one issue as we end the year of 2025, the year of the snake, and go into 2026, the year of the horse. Like how I did that horse sound. The number one issue is going to be the economy. It's not going to be about social issues or political identity or feelings. It's going to be about money. It's going to be about people's back pocket. Their wallet that's been burnt, their bank accounts that are down to negative 0.0%. And before anyone says that's not a number, give it time. It will be real because it will manifest itself into reality. Negative 0.0%. Anyways.
Notice that we have a future to plan for. We have a future to fight for. And we're either going to do that together or you're going to be left behind. And I think that is not a partisan issue. It's not about progressive. It's not moderate. It's not liberal. This is about, do you understand the assignment of fighting fascism right now? And the assignment is to come together across difference no matter what.
Phil Hiller says, soy socialist. And Eric Walker, a fellow Marine. There's not enough gloating in me to do is every time I'm right. Hey, don't worry. Hey, Gray Walker, you have my permission to use this, okay? Because you know what, audience? You guys are better than me. Truly. You are. I hear your stories. I see who you are, the struggles, and how we are trying to fight for a better future. And there is maybe a slight, small percentage of hope with this election. Again, this is electoral politics we're talking about. But it is interesting on how Mamdani was able to defeat Cuomo not once but twice. It says something. Is this the transformation of the Democratic Party? No. But you have my permission to use this, Gray Walker, if you ever want to gloat. I was right. You were wrong. I'm going to sing the I was right song. You just keep that repeating. Keep on repeating it. Use that in a singing voice. I was right. You were wrong. I'm going to sing the I was right song. Use that. Use it. Everyone, you can use it. You can use it, people. And you can clip that too. So, Zohran Mamdani, let's get to the big piece de resistance.
And if we embrace this brave new course, rather than fleeing from it, we can respond to oligarchy and authoritarianism with the strength it fears, not the appeasement it craves. After all, if anyone can show a nation betrayed by Donald Trump how to defeat him, it is the city that gave rise to him. And if there is any way to terrify a despot, it is by dismantling the very conditions that allowed him to accumulate power. This is not only how we stop Trump, it's how we stop the next one.
No, you can't. And with that, 49 seconds. You know what that reminds me of? A mayor in my town. Okay? In Chicago. And it's right now not turning out too well for Mr. Mayor Brandon Johnson. It's not. And I can't predict the future, what's going to happen in my city. But what I do know is this. With the aftermath of Mamdani winning, the floodgates are open. The gates are down. Anybody who wants to run as a third-party candidate or as an independent, they have a good chance maybe now in this city. Maybe. You want to upend the political system? Go ahead. Chicago flips red. They have a good launch point. Chicago will be that city to pay attention to in regards to its overall future. But nothing is really going to change because the bigger picture here is not resisting Trump. There's always going to be another Donald Trump. It's how you're able to defeat him. See, the Democrats tried to use lawfare and shaming and stuff on social media. That's what the Democrats relied on. Fear tactics. Fear tactics. That's what they used. Nothing substantial. And anytime there was any kind of attempt to talk about social issue or economic issues to make our lives better, the Democrats ended that quickly. Just look at all the organizations that try to quote unquote reform it. Look at Bernie Sanders. Look at all these people. It's time to look at citizen ballot initiatives, third parties, and independents and movements and organizations not connected to DC. I wish Zohran Mamdani all the best. Congratulations to his win. Now you're going to sit on the throne in the midst of a government shutdown. All eyes are on you, Mamdani. Good luck. Do I think things will change? Maybe by a few inches, but nowhere near a mile. But we'll see what happens. NYC. Here's to your new beginning. I guess good luck to you. Just remember, we got the better pizza.